Hello everybody, welcome to Indigo Tarot Odyssey. How is everybody? Happy full moon to everybody. Don't forget to charge your crystals and make moon water, set positive intentions, all that good stuff that's coming. So again, I thought I would base today's reading on what is coming in terms of career, health, love, everything for each specific group. I'm going to do the gamut for each card. And also how the Lionsgate 8-8 portal is going to help within that, because the Lionsgate 8-8 portal is high frequency energies that are really activating our awakenings, our cosmic downloads, and our intuitive abilities. And I feel coupled with the full moon that's starting, all that new fresh energy, it's just like it's like a full oil change, right? All that old murky oil that no longer serves us is all scraped clean out of our tank, and then we're giving really good high quality oil in our tank to run smoothly. That being what we allow into our crown chakra, into our mind, our positive, constant positive reinforcements of situations, ourselves, our value, everything, because that all instigates the next cog in the wheel that says, how do we feel now? Because what are we thinking, right? It's the first step, what we're thinking and what we allow in, and only allowing in the good, the gracious, the noble, the calm, the tranquil, we become that. I know as soon as I get in a car, I go outside, I just take a deep breath. And I just survey everything that's around me that is beautiful immediately within nature. And I feel I have a whole different outlook on everything, the way I experience things, because I'm calling into my awareness, present moment abilities. What do I smell? What do I see? So on and so forth. So we have three choices to start with. Number one is Pyrite, let the money flow in. Number two is Unakite, live in the now, super important. And rhodochrosite, remember your worth. Three super important things, right? And I think it's a good idea you can watch all three, because it's going to have a lot of components, and it's going to be based around each thing too. Your money field, your present moment awareness is where you notice all the joyful little things, right? The butterfly going by, something funny that your child said, so on and so forth. And then remembering your worth constantly. Think of a movie, and think of where there was a person in the movie and they were constantly just in this victimhood and beggarhood, where something was always going wrong and they were always late for work and they were always apologizing. They just look so downtrodden and exhausted. Think of a character like that. The only reason they became like that is because their inner voice and thinking that they weren't worthy of looking people in the eye and demanding, that raise, what they deserve, their own company, whatever it is. They settled on the crumbs. Therefore, they came across as beggarly, as, digging around in the dirt of just scraps and thinking that that is what their lot in life was. Absolutely not. And then think of the person that just wasn't going to take no for an answer, that was constantly pushing through and had this kind of heroic, noble bearing about them, when it was like, you're not going to talk down to me. You're not going to reduce me. You're not going to water me down, any of that. That's strong, beautiful, potent type of energy, right? And how would you like to be perceived in the world? That is very important. Okay, you guys, so we are going to begin with number one, which is Pyrite. And this definitely is letting the money flow in stone. I have a chunk of this right by my workstation, everywhere else. And this is saying too, a financial breakthrough is on its way for you, group one. You have the power to create the wealth that you desire. Put in the time and the energy needed to pursue the financial goals. Hard work pays off. Be a money magnet and call in prosperity into your life in all its form. Money and fortune don't always appear in the way you'd expect, so really keep your eyes open to all the financial opportunities that present themselves to you. You're on the right track. Keep working, keep moving, keep growing, and you'll reap the rewards. I'll give you an example. When I was like a teenager, or even in my early 20s, I thought you had to work. But before you had your own business, because I knew that progressively that could be something anybody wanted. When you were younger, I always thought, you were kind of at the mercy of whatever that 9-to-5 job was, or part-time job. And like, that was it. And your only source of income could come from that. But then I was watching other people and relatives, and they'd have these side hustles that they loved. Like, I had a brother who loved his paper route so much, and he was really young and he was making tons of money. He loved getting up and riding his bike and delivering papers. He absolutely adored it. That was a side hustle. I babysat. I made a killing, and I didn't even know. I babysat for like I guess a world ranking stripper of her day, and I didn't know that. But I was like, she's always paying me in singles, and it was a lot for me. It was just like a few hours night, and she'd come home and she'd pay me like $50 to babysit, and that was a lot for a few hours a night each time. And so I'd have these big wad of 50s. And then I remember my neighbor was like, you should check out her picture of her on this yacht topless, like in the south of France, whatever. I was like, where is it? I practically live in the house and I've never seen that. Oh yeah, it's in her room. Go look. And it was so funny. I was like, yeah, man, I babysit for a famous stripper. Love it. And I was like 13. She had uncontrollable spasmoid kids, and they were so hyper, so hopped up on candy all the time. When I got there, I was like, you can't feed them this amount of sugar. But I was like, I'm not the mom. I'm 13, but obviously. But it was just one of those things where I was like, I had that side hustle, but it was one of the things that I thought that was my job, and like that's my thing. But I didn't realize that our gifts and talents are really where we harness a lot of income. If we paint, if we write, if we sing, lyrics, any of those things, it's our gifts that naturally come. Creativity. And here's a little tip, you guys, too, and I make sure I do this. If you have a friend that's an artist, support them by paying for their goods. I mean, if they offer, you never want to reject that. But I mean, it's one of those things where if I have, India right now does this great tie-dye work, and she'll be at it for hours and be like, Mom, do you like this? I'll be like, that's fantastic. I would like to buy that off you. I see them out sludging in the work, out there trying to keep the cats away and get all the chemicals and do all this. Again, we want to offer that to people because that says your work has value. You put your time, your effort, and your heart into it, right? And I feel like that's going to help. But here's something we have to ask ourselves too, and I have to do this for myself because I love a gratification, like little Lord Fauntleroy. I love the beads and the luxuries right away. If I am conceiving a piece and I'm like, oh, I don't know, garnets or rubies or whatever are going to be a little expensive. Once I start buying pieces, I conceive more pieces. So then I get on this buying frenzy. So now I just do one piece at a time so I don't go nuts and have 10 million beads and precious gems like floating around the place. Okay, so I ask myself, what are my financial goals, right? What is your definition of success too? That's huge. If you had all the money that you could ever want, what would you do with it? I'm constantly talking about this. Yes, we want to bring in money, but where would we allocate that money to? That's a big piece of the universal picture for it to be sent our way. I want this for a new home. I would love this for a new car for my son. I would love this for A, B, and C. Really, really pinpoint and be discerning where you want this money to go. That's, again, it's part of your blueprint, and the universe loves decisions and is more than happy to send this abundance your way. And we have to remember, hey, it doesn't grow on trees. So sometimes when we're really flush, we don't want to go absolutely nuts, right? And then end up with nothing. I used to do that all the time, right? Okay, so I feel too that you are going to have more affluence than you can imagine. I just feel like it's coming in for so many of you. You're opening your eyes to the creative ways in which the conscious universe has manifested abundance in material form and reveals wonderful possibilities for your life right now. So you're going to be aware, and this will start to awaken you to the prosperity already within you. I do this when I go to create. I'm like, wow, do I have so many beautiful, gorgeous tarot and oracle decks, so many beautiful beads and all the little findings and things that it takes for me to create pieces. And you're going to notice that within your household and be like, wow, I really have a lot. And I'm going to pull a couple of these for you because I love this energy too. My inner child is whole and complete, divine, the little star. I love this. And when we decide this, we know, okay, now we can take a worldview. What is my mission statement? How do I want to express myself? How do others affect me? And how do I perceive how I affect others? Because that in turn will have a certain attitude that we project out into the world, right? What would be my first impression of me? Would it be somebody who's ready to listen and really take everything in, right? We have to ask ourselves that. And I feel like you are starting to do this beautiful relationship work within yourself, and know that love can draw people to you, and you're going to see it because they see things in you you may not see in yourself initially, and they're going to bring out the best in you. And you don't have to be perfect. You can make mistakes, but what you really cannot do is wall yourself off when love is really reaching out for you, wanting to connect and expand. Let other people help you find your hidden treasures. When somebody pays you a compliment, absolutely believe it. You have beautiful hair, nails, a great laugh, a cool spirit, you're resilient, so on and so forth. Listen to those who encourage you, and if someone tries to tell you that you haven't got what it takes, assuring or otherwise, then seek out the company of those who see the best within you. Sometimes we grow up with people and we just kind of hang on to them, and their energy is draining and their energy is heavy, and they could be negative Nellies, and we just out of what we think is loyalty, but it's really just habit, we spend time with those people. So let's be wise. I'll give you a hint. My mom had some great friends, but she had this one particular friend that was just so facetious and mean to everybody that whenever there was a gathering, he would just pick other people apart and just say mean things. And I would even say to my mom, what is with him? He just is. And she'd be like, it's just his own insecurities, so on and so forth. And, they formed a bond. And my mom, I feel like, was always working on him for a project, but because of his tumultuous childhood and all of that, he just socially would be very cruel. And I noticed that my mom would, when she was feeling tired or run down, she would not have him over because she could recognize that energy as well, and she would have separate times with him, because one-on-one he was wonderful and he adored her, and he absolutely just wanted to be close to her. She was very healing, but again, in groups wasn't so well. So you don't want to be around anybody that ever diminishes you or puts you down. And I feel like that's part of how you're going to elevate into this prosperity is, wow, I really do see my good qualities. Also, the Empress of the Night. After a storm, I emerge a shiny new store. Remember, I feel that oftentimes we have to stop underestimating ourselves, that you have so many facets and so many assets to share and grow, and whatever eludes you, start to open up for the bounty that is the conscious universe. Look within. Like, wait, where did that come from? Like, this talent, was it there all along? Like, all of a sudden, a lot of people are really good problem solvers, and this is definitely specific to a lot of light workers out there too. You have so much more capacity for healing and bringing people up and elevating them in so many great ways. So keep up the good work. Just a word from you really can elevate people. You have all these treasures within you, and I feel like a consciousness of abundance is approaching you. Recognizing that you are definitely more than enough in everything, and you're going to be able to just eradicate any of that lower vibrational thinking, right? I feel like you're ready, and the love that you have is going to draw these people, and you're going to have a lot of affluence coming in. And remember, outer conditions reflect past intentions, right? Look around your house. Did you start some project where you're like, hey, I really wanted this room to be nice and have matching plates and do this and that, and there was a reason for that. So maybe bringing that back in, because I feel like you want some continuity in the home, and you want some beautiful energy. And with that Lionsgate high frequency energy, you're going to be able to finish projects and do really beautifully, group one. So that's you guys. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe, and all my links are down below as well. Happy full moon. Just beauty, harmony, romance, charm, all of this is coming in for you, and it's a really exciting, beautiful time, and you deserve it. You're so deserving of this. So again, you guys, come over to my Instagram. It's sparkrist11, and come and get on this week's giveaway as well. So you guys, now we're going to move on to number 2, which is Unikite. I'm going to have a quick sip of my coffee because I'm already hearing a very interesting thing. There's something going on with, I feel like I hear fraction, so I feel like it's a third. Some of you are experiencing what you perceive to be unrequited love right now. You are really pining for somebody who's in your environment, somebody you see on social media, somebody you've had interactions with, somebody within your school unit, and your heart is just aching for them. You feel them, you long for them, and you feel that there is a disconnect. There's just something in the interaction that is lacking to give you a true blueprint of how they feel. There is going to be a reckoning with that, and you're going to get your answer. They are just going to be coming across. They're just going to basically blurt out how they feel. They've been keeping it down, and they really have this admiration and love for you, and they're going to take action, because living in the now too is your message too, to be receptive to messages and synchronicities and synergy by plugging in and looking and listening for all the little details, because oftentimes things that go unsaid have a lot of meaning as well. So just really tap into it. Some people just aren't natural, good, flirtatious people. They don't know how to do that. They don't want to come across as foolish, so they behave a little more stalwart. So let's ask yourself right now, how would it feel to accomplish the things you've been procrastinating? I often ask myself that. If my stuff is all awry and looking crazy as hell, I'm like, how would I feel if this was all organized and in drawers? I did this the other day and I said, it'd feel hella good. So I'm going to go out and get this contraption that organizes everything. I did it, and it saves me hours of searching for beads and things. I was like, just get it together. Because I asked myself, where are the frustrations in my workplace, which is my home and my office where I have my things? And my main thing was looking for things due to disorganization, because I would have like 10 different bead strands all mixed together and like start making a piece, put those away, do that again. And then I would just have a cacophony of crazy beads and not know what was going on. But this is saying, check that box. If your to-do list keeps growing, or you're losing motivation, shift gears and put the pedal to the metal. You're in the driver's seat. You're going to feel it. You're going to live in the now, and you want results. I can really feel this. This portal is going to do it for you. This is Earth activating awakening. I am not going to suffer needlessly anymore. Why would I do this to myself? Like, whatever, if your house is just tchotchked, you just have stuff everywhere and you feel like it is growing and infringing on you, old magazines, old clothes, all this stuff, and you need a spring, summer clean, you're going to do it. Another thing too is hanging on to any outdated ideas that maybe your mother's, your teachers, or somebody had of what you shouldn't do, could, can be, blah, 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 and realize the sky is the limit right now. So I feel you're ready for this big sense of accomplishment, and you're going to have it. You're going to set realistic goals for yourself, stay on track, and avoid delays. That's all it takes, a little follow through. The hardest part is that first step, and I love the 5-second rule. I don't sit there and debate or overthink it or give me anxiety. If I'm doing like a full overhaul in the house clean with all the cats and all this stuff, I can overwhelm myself. So I go, you know what? Just start with the countertops. I love cleaning the countertops, getting rid of old things, and then it just kind of leads me to the next space and the next space. I play good music. I feel good. And then at the end of it, I'm like, I can do it today. Really complete one thing you've been putting off, especially, you guys, since it is the full moon. I feel like you're going to have that beautiful, magical, tranquil energy to help you, and it's going to just kind of like click. You're going to have that click, like, oh, I can do this. Yeah, this is definitely something that's coming. But we have to ask ourselves too, do you know your patterns? Do you know where your money and your efforts go? Or is it all a big mystery? It used to be to me, because I would just click on this. I would have spontaneous everything, impulsive buy the hell out of everything, and be like, whoa, where did all that go? But living in the now, we're noticing what we're doing and how it has affected us in the past, because when we're doing something, if we're paying attention to our body, it will grow tight. If it's something that is not in our inner wheelhouse that we know we should be doing right, if we pause before we speak and say something, and our throat or something feels tight, we're recognizing by being in the now that perhaps that isn't the thing to say, to hesitate for a moment, mull it over, and ask yourself, how would I feel if I heard that, right? Would I feel hurt? And do I sometimes go to old fear-based habits? Do I have like fearful frugality and then go spend everything in one go? All of that. Self-awareness is always a good thing and will lead you to a feeling of comfortable and confident and growing in your abundance and living in the now. I feel like it's huge transformational energy for you guys, big time. I feel like you're going to be really just organized. You're going to have like this good compass for what to do and how to follow your dreams. No more guilt, all of that. You're going to have discipline. You're going to have structure. Very, very Saturn driven energy, responsibility, your ambitions, restraining yourself when you need it, having a little realism in place, adding gravity when it's really important, feeling stuff deep in your bones when you're supposed to do it, and following your intuitive insights. And that's important. Now you have the triple star grid, which is aligning. I connect and align with my higher consciousness 100%. And when we do that, energies are beamed like directly to us, how to listen, how to do things, live in the here and now, use it for mastery and renewal, whether it's love, relationships, friendships, or new beginnings. Bloodstones is wonderful for this energy, and I really I just ordered a whole bunch. I'm going to be making a bunch of stuff with that because I feel like they're really conducive for those behaviors as well. And I feel like it's just one of those things where you're going to instinctually know what to do through your gut reactions, and the higher consciousness is always going to lead you in the perfect direction. So you feel that just placid, calm, grounded energy, as opposed to just bouncing around like a pinball. Okay. Now the lapis lazuli star too, starlight, my inner vision guides me to my higher purpose. We're constantly shown things by the universe, by source. Sometimes they're waking dreams. Sometimes they're just little images in our head. Sometimes they're like a little ticker tape. And there's a reason for that. It's the power of suggestion through our spirit guides and everybody else for the best case scenario. If the next best move, the next best thing. And we're often inspired to do that. Now, when we procrastinate or get off track or get monkey mind, when we're weighing our options or we have fear of missing out, we sometimes forget and negate this skill. But your inner vision is going to be really strong for you, and with that you're instinctually going to do the right things when it comes to love, money. Beautiful, like embodiment of calm for you this upcoming next few months, where people are going to want to be close by. You're very healing, you're very chill. You have kind of like a new life statement of, listen, I want my life to have some meaning and impact, and I would like calm. You're going to be really harmonious and feel like things that you do enrich other people. A lot of gifts just arriving to you, natural gifts as well. So you guys, if you've been thinking of doing anything, knitting, sewing, needlework, making candles, making jewelry, whatever it is, start doing that. Gardening, you're going to have a natural affiliation with whatever you're being guided towards. And I feel too that could also add some affluence to your life, because people will be like, wow, I would love to pay you for your services, and they're very receptive to what you have to offer. Just a really huge Jupiter expansion time. You being enthusiastic and optimistic about what you're doing, you feeling generous, you having this kind of benevolent, really chill energy, great luck, like spectacular great luck. I keep seeing that. I keep seeing rabbit's feet. I keep seeing $ lotto tickets. So if you guys were thinking about getting that, I would. You have extremely good luck coming up to group 2. So that is you guys. If you're new to my channel, welcome. Don't forget to press like and subscribe. I love these cards so much. The artwork is so beautiful. And come see me on Instagram at sparkcrystal11. I do daily posts and memes and stuff about just crystals, everything. And I'm always, available on DMs if somebody has a question about something. A lot of people are really getting into some cool esoteric teachings. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to help you with that. I've been doing this stuff for decades and I adore it, and I can research stuff too that comes up quite quickly as well. So I'm loving that. Yeah, living in the now, it's everything. It really is. We're not overdosing, over planning, over anything, because we're not in the future, and nor are we regretting blah 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 and all this stuff in the future. It is done. So now is what matters. Now is where the miracle is, for sure. So now we're on to number 3. I'm gonna have a sip of coffee, and this is rhodochrosite. I want to just do, I meant to do this at the beginning. I want to say a quick thank you to everybody that took advantage of my full moon readings. I'm still going to offer the special today because it's Monday and the full moon is today. And I'm going to be whipping out as many readings today and tonight as well for people. And it's the $25 2-question read, and I get it back to you within 48 hours. I can do a lot of reads on the full moon and do it throughout the day and the evening. And then it's just the uploading and processing that sometimes takes a couple 12, 24 extra hours to upload and then send them off to everybody. But you're more than welcome to take advantage of that, because this is some spectacular energy for sure. Again, you guys, we're going to start with number 3. So do that if you feel compelled. I'm impressed with the energy lately. It's just very crisp and very connective. It's just like everything flows really beautifully right now. I love this crystal so much, rhodochrosite, because this says remember your worth. This is everything. When you know who you are and you're not going to be relegated to any kind of craptacular backseat 5th chair in the orchestra, none of that stuff. You are not ordinary. Please remember that. You are not replaceable. You are not part and parcel for some pack. You are uniquely divine. Everybody is here for a reason. You really are special. It's really strange. I have this crazy ability to recall almost everybody I've ever met in my life. How weird is that, and how they impacted me? Not a 1-second hi, how are you? But if I spent more than an hour with somebody, I was thinking this the other day, I'm like, how the hell do you remember this conversation with so-and-so? And it's because in those moments, I learned how and I trained myself at certain parts of my life, especially just be absolutely present. So I'd remember names. I'd remember if they were left-handed or right-handed. I'd remember if they had curly or wavy hair, colors of eyes. I can remember everything like that. And it's interesting because everybody is unique and everybody is different. And I think that's kind of why there's a specialness to that, right? So, okay, I was losing my train of thought because then I was starting to remember people. That's so crazy. So, with this rhodochrosite saying, really remember your worth and slow down. Easy does it. Restore some balance and serenity in your life too. You're not chasing after anything. You're not looking for acclaim or anybody else's validation. You're good. You're in your own kind of mind and mood. Think of somebody like in a movie that you really liked and respected. They weren't people pleasers, were they? They weren't butt kissers. They weren't yes ma'am, no ma'am people. They were people that went about their own thing and they kind of lived their own thing. I'm watching The Umbrella Academy. My favorite character in there, of course, is Klaus. I love him because, you know, I kind of get some of what's going on in his life, but it's like one of those things where you are just fundamentally yourself and you're present and you're, you know, the world is pretty miraculous too, but you're not kowtowing to other people or trying to be something else, because sometimes life's pace can really feel overwhelming. And this kind of lets us know, let's slow down and remember our worth. And what do we want to do? Speak your truth, heartfelt communication, right speech is coming to you. When you speak your truth, you're being true to your soul's desire. Say no when you want to say no, okay? Don't just go along to get along and to avoid conflict, do somebody else's work and all of that. I find in the workplace this happens. Sometimes and also within a family unit, the youngest has a kind of place, the middle has a kind of place, the older person as the teacher has a kind of place, and it's hard to break those patterns. But remember, you know, you are who you are and you're growing, and the universe is constantly going to express truth through you. So practice choosing your words consciously as you voice a difficult truth or speak up on behalf of somebody else that maybe was too powerless. Mostly for yourself. I feel there's some injustices coming up if you chose this card, that there are maybe in job situations where you work with people that are a little lazier, and you might be a really high functioning great employee, so they cause trouble for you. I feel like that's an issue with some of you, and you know, they're trying to get you in trouble or they're trying to damage you. So don't get paranoid if this is your group. This is just for a select few of you. For other people, you're in a relationship and I feel like you're starting to feel like, instead of being that beautiful little fluff that's floating around and flowing, you feel like a shot put ball that just landed and you're having a hard time to move and navigate. And if that energy is heavy and constrictive, you need to take a break from it. Always stand up. People have all this guilt involved in relationships, like, oh no, I agreed to this. So what? You're ironclad stuck in there with this person? No, you always have choice, and it's your energy and you choose what energy you allow near you. So remember that as well. You have the beautiful holy child starseed. You are a divine child of the universe. A lot of you are starseeds, so you're very sensitive. You're sensitive to people's moods, to what they say, to what's occurring around you, and you're kind of awake to that. You're privy to this kind of extra gear thinking of, oh yeah, you know, as a romantic partner, you're not really all that kind of thing. Like if they're taking you for granted, any of those things, or you are the person, a number one resource, ATM machine, all of that, whatever it is, you're just over it. Remember, you are a divine child of the universe. You deserve respect and love. Write that down. Have it on a little sticky thing so you can keep reminding yourself. I feel like you're just going to have a big uplift with this Lion's Gate, that you know who you are and the power you yield when you recognize it, right? It comes from every integral part of your being, starting in your heart. I know that what I do is worthwhile. I know that I am worthwhile and that I have value, all of that. When you start to recognize that, you get very Eleanor Roosevelt-y, where nobody talks down to me unless I allow it. Nobody diminishes what I'm doing, or, you know, just people aren't going to get away with things anymore. Because sometimes if we're avoiding conflict, when somebody says something snarky or demeaning, you really need to speak up, because you start as you mean to go on. They'll continue doing that, especially if they're a bully. If you just go, you know, I really don't think that's something I want to allow anymore. I find it demeaning. I find it insulting, and I'd rather you not do that. I've done that at work. Like, I have called people out where they were like, what? Because I am super nice and I don't do that. But if I get somebody who, you know, it's funny because if you get people that don't understand esoteric things, and I remember I was always making jewelry for people and beads and stuff, and one time I was giving someone a bracelet and someone just came by and they were really unhappy, snarky, just narcissist a-holes. And they were like, just saying something derogatory about crystals and, you know, hippy dippy gypsy stuff and this and that. And I remember just calling them to the mat and saying, listen, it's not my problem that you don't believe in anything, or you have no spirituality, or you're just involved with yourself and you don't care about anybody else's feelings or space. But I'd rather you not talk to me anymore. And I actually stopped talking to another coworker completely. I said, do not ever speak to me again. You offer nothing that I want, so don't talk to me anymore. And it's crazy because I don't think of these things before I say them, but it comes out, and I tell you what, it changes the energy of the room. You don't have to tell everybody never to talk to you again, but if they are awful, guess what? Ghost time. This is sort of your thing, because you're going to heal. You're going to nourish with a medicine woman. You nurture and you nourish your mind, your body, and your soul. You eat well. When you're reaching for that salt, that sugar, all that stuff that's excessive, and you know you're not going to feel well, you're like, wait, how am I going to feel 5 or 10 minutes from now? I asked myself that with so many things. Like, hey, I don't really want to go for a walk. It's hot. Hey, how are you going to feel after that walk? You're going to feel good. You're going to feel oxygenated. You're going to feel top-notchery, debauchery. So do it. All of that, you know, get those gears going. If I eat this 10-pound chocolate rabbit from Easter last year, how am I going to feel? I'm not so good, probably, right? Yeah, those things, those questions, nurture and nourish your mind. Stuff that you watch, what are you watching? Are you watching hella negative stuff and Trump stuff and people just taking nosedives and all of that? No, 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 no. I love comedy. I love things that make me laugh. I like things that make me think. I love people that are inspiring and happy and on fire with life and passionate. And that when you start to do that, you're going to lift up and you're going to know your own worth, because it's kind of going to be like that thing where, hey, I do that for other people because I feel like you do lift and help and you're a positive attribute in your community. And then if that's going to lift you too. Do you ever feel better than when you get somebody the perfect gift? Like you just end up showing up their house with this bouquet and they're like, that's my favorite flower. I love this. And like they put snapshots of it all over on IG and they're excited out of their mind. It's such a wonderful feeling, right? So giving and being nurturing and generous, that is definitely part of who you are. And I feel like a lot of people are going to come in and really get your essence and your energy, and you're going to have beautiful self-awareness and have this strong life force and spirit and honor who you are. And you're going to be a magnet. I feel like you have a lot of love approaching you because of this too. Because I see one word that's huge: shine. I just see you shining like a star and you feeling good and going, hey, this is my zone and I like it and I'm staying in it for a while, and you deserve it, group 3. So that is you guys. If you're new to my channel, welcome. My name is Melanie. Don't forget to press like and subscribe, and all my links are down below. If you need a private read or anything else, I am still running that special. Everything else is down there. My Etsy store. Please come see me on Instagram and get in on all the giveaways. All the stuff is down there. And weekly, I think I'm going to run my auctions like I do a big sale, and I knock anything from $20-$30 off an item, and then there's no tax and there's no shipping, and I just make it really, really simple for people, because sometimes listing stuff on Etsy takes me so much time, and if I made a whole bunch of designs, I'll just do an auction with you, and you guys have so much fun with that. So I'm going to continue to do that as well. You guys, blessings. Thank you for all your love and support. You're absolutely amazing. You show me the love, and I read your comments. I swear that I do. I've not been able to, because what I do is I get so sucked into them and I want to answer. I answer a lot, but because of that, it takes days to do that. So I have read them and I appreciate them more than I can say. And thank you guys for all your wonderful feedback. Onward and upward.